How's it going? So I've been pretty much quarantined like everybody else, and I've had a lot of free time on my hands. So I've actually gotten around to doing a lot of little miscellaneous updates or interior fixes, upgrades, just reassembling, a little bit of everything. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you all where I'm at with the 60. I've done a lot of interior changes, installs or upgrades, whatever you want to call them, as well as I installed new door handles, and which I had to kind of retrofit or modify in order to get them installed because they were some aftermarket handles. They look a lot better than what I had, but they were not OEM. So that being said, let's show you all the updates. So we're getting around to adjusting or taking care of the back seats. Before I had this cover that was on them, and Jack's right now, he's taking apart the back seat, and basically what we're gonna do is leave the orange and black on there and cover it with the seat cover, but kind of do it nice so we get the seat, I guess the cover, uh, what do you call it?
Like the trim piece or whatever,
like
over the top of the cover?
So we're gonna get the seat cover over the top of this cover, and then the ends will go underneath the trim of the seat.
And join us next time on episode 37 of No More Harley Davidson.
So we got the seat cover kind of, so we used rope to kind of get it tight along, I guess take the shape of the seat. And you want to flip it over so we can see what it looks like. So it looks like it's an actual, reupholstered seat pretty much. Looks really good. And then I guess we can flip it back over.
The question is, the seat belts come from underneath. Well, since it's two pieces, I guess that won't be an issue anymore.
No.
Okay.
So now we'll just put the trim back on.
Yeah, I'll basically just be tightening it as I go, keeping it straight.
And all this will be covered up and more.
Yeah.
And then once we get this bottom part on, figured out, then we'll cut the seat cover so we can do the back half of the seat.
Nice. Yeah, we'll cut like right here.
Yeah. Sweet. Meanwhile, I had bought some new door handles. I think I showed them to you in one of the previous videos, and getting those installed, they look so good. So I got these done. We did have to do some modifications for the rear ones. These are aftermarket handles. They're not OEM. So there is a couple of differences. So this is the rear. This is the driver passenger handle, and you can see that there's only, I guess, one tab. This one has tabs on both sides. I guess that way, you can use this for either driver or passenger. For the driver, this works out fine because all you got to do is insert, I think it's like called a lock rod end clip into this end, or one of these ends, depending on if it's a driver or passenger. But for the rear, it's a little bit different. You have this little piece here that threads in, and so yeah, this little piece threads into this portion of the handle. And on the ones that I got, there's no threaded connection. They're just, I guess, holes. So we've thought of a couple of solutions. One would be you could easily just put this in right here as it's supposed to, and then you'd probably need a longer bolt so you can put a lock and maybe a lock washer on the other end. That would work, but what we're thinking about doing is we're going to be putting a rib nut on this end. The only issue we have is that this tab is interfering with the rib nut gun. So we're going to go ahead and cut it off, so since we don't need this part of the handle, and hopefully we'll be able to get the rib nut in.
Alright, this is Rob Z destroying his new parts.
close it in.
Yeah, but not like once you feel it start to resist,
Uh-huh.
then stop. Go a little more. Yeah, that's good. Oh, you should have started with this all the way in.
Oh shit.
Just unscrew the. There you go.
Cool.
Good as
Oh, it's the wrong side. No, I'm just kidding.
drill it out.
So the bench seat turned out awesome. It looks like we took it to an upholstery shop and had them do it professionally. Looks good. Now we're just cutting off the rest of the I guess seat cover, which we're going to use for the back portion of the back seat.
There she is. Yeah. Hopefully that's enough. Get out the Mexican blanket otherwise.
I gotta say, Jack did a pretty good job, and the seats did come out pretty good, especially the bottom part. But I have to admit, we did run out of material, and we weren't able to really get the top or the back of the seat properly done, as we did the bottom part. But you can see, how far we've got, and so what I'm probably gonna have to do is just buy another seat cover that we can tear up and get all the material we need for this back part, and so we can finish that. But it came out pretty nice. It came out really good. So on the tire well, I know I said, or I might have said, that I was going to be using a black thinner carpet for this. That's what was originally here. However, I decided to go ahead and try to use the remaining carpet that I had left over from doing the carpet on the inside. So the reason I didn't want to use this carpet is it's kind of thicker and a little bit harder to form. So what I did is I've kind of glued it down in some spots along this surface, and I've had to make a couple of slots or slits on this side to kind of help form it to the tire well. So I think it could be a little bit better, but it's better than I expected. Some of this area you really won't see unless the seat is down, and so I'm gonna tuck this end underneath this piece of the carpet, but before I do that, I'm gonna put a couple more spots of glue to kind of help keep it in place. What I've been using is this goop. I don't know, it's like an all-purpose adhesive. I'm not too sure what would have been better. Like if I would have used like a spray adhesive, I don't think there would have been like enough contact. Yeah, this stuff is pretty thick, so I think that helps with see, it's kind of pretty thick. I think that helped with helping sticking to the carpet and to the tire well. So I'm going to be painting the remaining panels, brown panels, that are on the truck. This one, or on all 4 doors, along with these inner rocker panels, kicker panels, I don't know what you call them. But yeah, these have been painted before, and some of the paint has chipped away, so I'm gonna go ahead and repaint these. And I'm not sure if I've shown this, but I repainted the stuff for the jack. The jack I left, I don't know if you can see it, I left it the same. I didn't touch it. It's still brown because it wasn't really rusted, and it has stickers on there, so I didn't want to paint over those. these were all rusted, so I went ahead and they were brown. I painted them black. So that's one thing I did. And so for now, I'm going to go ahead, and this will probably be the last of the interior that I'm going to be updating. For now, I mean, there's still things here and there. Like, for example, this was in we forgot this fuse cover in one of the Tupperware, the boxes that I had stored some of the parts in. So we forgot to paint that, so that will have to be done at some point. And like I said, there's I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with the visors and the handles and the rearview mirror. That's gonna be left alone for now. You know, I mentioned the seat belts. That's not really important right now. So yeah, that's gonna be it. Pretty much it for the interior, except for the Tuffy toolbox. I'm definitely getting that pretty soon, and I'm just gonna be focusing more on replacing the bushings and installing that longer shackle in the front to lift the front end up. And also, I really want to get this thing sanded so we can get rid of all the orange peel that's still on the truck. Although right now, I don't know if you can tell, it looks, I don't know if it looks good or not, or you can see the orange peel, but there definitely is a lot of orange peel. And yeah, I want to get rid of that. It came out pretty good. I did that all around, and it blends in a lot better than having brown pieces, as well as this, I don't know, rocker kicker panel. I've been putting this little project off for a while, and I thought since we're like week 2 of quarantine, might as well get around to it. So I took part of the dash off, and I'm replacing wherever the cigarette lighter was, getting rid of the old cigarette lighter. It didn't work, and potentially could catch on fire or something. So getting rid of that, and I'll probably be reusing some of this. And what I picked up is one of these. It's pretty cool. It has a voltmeter on it, and it has 2 USB chargers, so which would be more helpful than a cigarette lighter. And what I've already done is I actually had to slightly enlarge the hole. Let's see. Slightly enlarged the hole on this side with my handy little Dremel tool, and made it big enough to where this would just slip in. So now I've already done that, so all that's left to do is put this in place and put the lock ring on the there it is. Nice. Looks clean. Simple. Now that's all that's left to do is connect the wires, and it should have a USB port in my FJ60. So I'm back, and I've rewired. I use the existing connector, and I've wired the positive to the positive and the negative to the negative. I went ahead and left a little light in there so the wires aren't exposed. It shouldn't be an issue just leaving it there. I don't even know if this light works or not. We'll find out. But I soldered everything, shrink wrapped it so it's nice and clean. Next to do is connect it and make sure I did everything right. So let's find out. Alright, so we're going to see how good I am at wiring. Hopefully I don't blow this up. But find out. So negative. Oh, and we got voltage. Nice. So it looks like I hooked it up right. Now just reinstall this part of the dash, and I have a USB port in my, actually 2 USB ports in my FJ60.